Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Well, this is another kind of one of those response reaction type of videos to some comments I've been getting on one of my videos. You guys know that I recently reviewed the Civivi Appalachian Drifter here, this double detent flipper, and I got a number of comments talking about how dangerous these knives were. And I was a little surprised, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, I had to think about it for a couple of days, honestly, and the question that came up to me is, why? Why are these knives considered so dangerous? You know, I've had comments on slip joint knives, I prefer to have a half stop so the knife doesn't close on me, that type of thing. And even those questions kind of spurred thought in my mind. And the basic question I come up with is, what are you doing with these knives that makes them dangerous? Now, this is totally not a dig. It's not a crack. I'm seriously asking this question. Seriously asking this question. Because I've used slip joint knives for quite a long time, and never once have I had one inadvertently close on me. So I'm trying to figure out, this is a discussion, I'm trying to figure out how this happens. I mean, I have some ideas. Obviously, a slip joint or non-locking knife is not made to do everything a locking knife is. I mean, again, I've used slip joints recently, obviously, the double detent knives like this, the MBK, EWC, more recent, then again, the Appalachian Drifter. And I'm seriously a little confused, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm having a hard time, and these questions keep coming, and these comments keep coming, and I'm just like, okay, how are these knives being used that makes them dangerous, makes them close on people? And yes, trust me, I have a pretty good idea of the how or why behind it, but I want to hear from you and why you think they're dangerous, or why you don't think they're dangerous, for that matter. I still don't know what the title of this video is going to be. But we'll figure that out later. That's not important. I just really wanted to get this video made before, the thought kind of faded. Now, I'll tell you what, guys. This is probably, to be perfectly honest with you, this is probably one of the hardest use knives I have. It's a slip joint, sailor's knife. The blade does not lock. The marlin spike locks because, well, you're going to be prying with the marlin spike, and it's supposed to lock. That gives you that extra little bit of security. And man, does it pop. But the blade does not lock. And I cut some fairly decent sized rope with this, and I use it at work, and I cut zip ties. Never once has this knife arbitrarily closed on me. Yeah, I'm really, this really has me confused, guys. And I'll tell you, yes, okay, weak back springs on a slip joint. I understand that. If a knife has a weak back spring, it is more likely to, break or slip, Now you see there, if I keep pushing on that, that's going to come down on my finger, And trust me, it's happened in testing knives. Trust me, I've seen it. It happens because you try. You know, you see, okay, where is its breaking point? What can I do? But that is all part of the learning process of the tool that you're using. Now, this knife is not made for this type of motion because it's going to hit and spin down and that blade's going to come closed on you, right? Slip joints are made for this type of cutting motion. Or, I mean, even slicing an apple or I've sliced a lot of fruit. I've cut lots of things, cardboard, and I've never, ever had a slip joint, arbitrarily close on me. Now, like this, if I do this, yeah, but it's taking outside intervention. It's taking an action by me to make it do that. So to me, that's not the knife's fault. That is use. That is misuse. If you use the tool in a manner that it's not meant to be used, bad things can happen. I mean, come on, guys. I've been a technician. I've been a mechanic. I'm a rigger mechanic right now. Used all sorts of tools. I mean, come on. One of the biggest jokes as a mechanic, right, is hand me the crescent hammer. You know what I mean? It happens. I get it. But it has to take some sort of action by the user for it to do something that it's not supposed to do. That's what I can come up with. And this is totally going off my own experience, guys, because as I said many times so far, I have never once had a slip joint or double detent knife come closed on me. Now, guys, knives like this, to me, are not meant for hard use. They're just not. Because it's a slip joint or it's a double detent. And yes, it doesn't take a lot to break that detent. So to me, it's not built for hard use. Now back to those lighter back spring, like, again, the biome. I love the biome. Back spring is not super strong. I mean, you can break it pretty easy. But it's my knife. I know this about the knife, so I use it accordingly. I know, hey, I'm not going to be able to use this knife like I would some others because the back spring isn't as strong. If I want something, if I'm doing heavy work or something like that, maybe I'm going to use this. Or maybe I'm going to use this. The good old bullnose. It's got a pretty stout spring on it. It's got a half stop. Or if I'm going to do some really, harder use, then you know what? I'm going to grab something like this. It's a locking knife. That's like I see, people take these knives out, baton them, and all that other stuff, right? It's a test. Okay. To see if it'll stand up. Okay. Is this knife meant to be batoned with? No. It's not what it was built for. Fixed blades are meant to be batoned with. Not a folding knife. But hey, I understand. Guys test them. They do that to see if they will stand up. In case you're ever caught in that situation where you would need to baton this knife. Okay, fair enough. Right on. I can buy that. But, and this is kind of the same kind of aspect as far as using the tools the way they're meant to be used, was like the whole ZT thing. The ZT and the spine whack. Now, I guess I came along late to that whole ZT era, and I don't have any with me right at the moment, but I'm going to show you this nice Rough Rider Reserve 001. The whole ZT spine whack thing. Apparently there was a point to where I guess ZTs would not lock up or fail or something. And I have had locking knives that did not lock properly. You'd open and flip them and the the lock was not engaging properly. I've had that happen. Those knives get returned. And I asked for a new knife that actually does what it's supposed to do. But there were some of these, the ones I saw, I guess maybe it was on the tail end of the whole spine whack, is I saw a guy take his ET and he's like, yeah, these fail when you whack the spine, and go whack on the table with the spine. I'm not talking a love tap. I'm talking about cracking it on the spine on the corner of a table. And I'm like, yeah, that lock's probably gonna fail. Because that's not what it's meant to be used for. You're not meant to hammer nails with the back of your ZT. I don't know. That one was totally weird to me. Apparently, there was a time when ZTs didn't lock up. Okay, return it and get a new one. If that one doesn't lock up, then it's a problem with the knife and you just don't buy ZTs. You know, I mean, it seems like a pretty simple solution to me. But anyway, can you please explain to me, if you have issues with a slip joint or the double detent? The only comments I got were, oh, they're dangerous, they're not for me. Okay, why are they dangerous? Because if you use them the way they're meant to be used, I don't see a problem. But yeah, please, and guys, this is a legitimate question. If you've ever had one, let me know. Tell me how you were using it. I'm just going by personal experience here, guys. Yeah, it was a very, very interesting question. The same way, you know, with the slip joints and stuff, I've gotten that comment. Not as frequent, but over, you know, the 2.5 years I've been doing this, you know, it gets sprinkled in there every once in a while. And I'm just like, okay, you know, all right. But this video, I got several comments about this knife not being safe because it was a double detent knife. Okay. Do I think that? Not in the least. It carried in the pocket fine. Nothing happened. Nothing bad. I used it the way that I think it was meant to be used, and it was just fine. No issues whatsoever. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, guys. I'm really, really interested in hearing your thoughts. Either way, you know, are they or aren't they? Are they safe? Are they not safe? Why do you feel they are? Why do you feel they're not? It's a conversation. That's what we're here for. To talk, converse, and learn. I'd like to hear. Thanks a lot, guys. Greatly appreciate your time today. As always, like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, I'll talk to y'all later, guys. Bye-bye.